Discuss this, I am joined now from Moscow by Vitaly Yermakov. He's a senior research fellow at the Oxford Institute for Energy Studies. And Luke Coffey is in Washington, D.C. He's the director of the Allison Center for Foreign Policy Studies at the Heritage Foundation. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Luke, quite a turn of events. Chancellor Merkel, for years, has defended the Nord Stream 2 project despite international criticism, particularly criticism from the United States. Now the poisoning of Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny seems to have changed the game a bit. Chancellor Merkel has said she is reconsidering her long-held position. What do you make of all this?
Well, the poisoning has certainly changed the rhetoric. Whether or not this materializes into a change of policy, that's a whole nother discussion, and that remains to be seen. But it's not just the poisoning of Navalny which has really pushed Germany into this direction. There are a lot of other issues in the past 18 to 24 months that have also played an important role. Of course, one of them is the pressure that has been placed on Germany on the Nord Stream 2 issue by the Trump administration and the threat of secondary sanctions to European companies that participate in this project. Then, of course, we had last year the killing of a Georgian citizen of Chechen ethnicity in Berlin by gunmen, and that was allegedly also carried out by the Russian state. So there's been a number of issues in recent months that have led to this point, I think, where Angela Merkel has had no choice but to at least change her rhetoric. Again, this is just a change of rhetoric. We have not seen a change of policy yet.
And Luke, you are right, of course, you have put forth some issues that have deteriorated Russian-EU relations in the past. But even the 2014, what has been internationally deemed to be illegal annexation of Crimea was not enough to tip the favor in those who have been arguing against Nord Stream 2. So this is not the first time, even if Moscow ought to be behind the poisoning of Navalny. It's not the first time that Russia and the EU and Russia and Germany have been at conflict with one another in the previous 10 years since the conflict started. Why do you think this particular incident is now having such a strong reaction, is evoking such a strong reaction on the part of Berlin?
Well, as I said, I think there's an accumulation of these events that have brought Berlin to this point. And either way, regardless if this assassination attempt was sanctioned by the Kremlin or not, one thing is very clear. Russia has a Novichok nerve agent problem. Either these attacks, like we saw in Salisbury, England, or we saw with Navalny, were sanctioned by the Kremlin, or for whatever reason, this military-grade nerve agent is floating around Russia and is able to be used by criminal actors to conveniently target political opponents of the Kremlin. So either way, there is a significant problem here for Russia when it comes to this particular nerve agent. But in terms of Germany's willingness to continue on with the Nord Stream 2 project, it just shows how embedded this project is in the German political system. Of course, the former Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder is very cozy with Vladimir Putin, got intimately involved with Gazprom almost immediately after leaving his position as Chancellor. And over the years, the Germans and the Russians have used energy as one area where there could be bilateral cooperation, often at the angst of the other countries in Europe. And when President Trump attended the NATO summit a couple of years ago, and his very first remark was criticizing Germany over Nord Stream 2, very vocally, this criticism was very vocal. He was saying what most in Central and Eastern Europe are thinking. They just won't say it publicly. But now they're starting to say it publicly. They're putting more pressure on Germany privately. And we're to the point now where Berlin has to at least change the rhetoric on this. But I am not so sure that we're going to see this project stopped, even though I do believe it should be stopped.
Vitaly, as Luke